Hello everyone. One last remaining potential Oscar contender on the table, The Color Purple, and we finally saw it. We saw it last night.
Yep, I believe we were the first audience to see it, or at least that's what the director said.
Yes, so that's why I have Yvette here. She's gonna review the movie with me. There's been a lot of speculation, many like supposed test screenings with reactions kind of ranging all over the place. There was a feeling that WB was maybe holding the film back. So for those who don't already know, The Color Purple is not a remake of Steven Spielberg's 1985 adaptation. This is a film adaptation of the Tony Award-winning musical, The Color Purple, that was based on the novel. So for those who don't know anything about The Color Purple, do you want to give a brief synopsis and then we'll talk about the movie?
Sure.
Okay.
The story follows the lifelong journey of Celie. She's the main character. She's a black woman living in the South in the early 1900s. Along her journey, Celie meets an array of different characters like the fierce Sophia and the sensuous blues singer Shug Avery. Ultimately, all these women are helping Celie garner her perseverance and discover her voice and really harness her strength.
And that's probably a good place to start with like the movie review itself, or like the people and the characters she meets along the way, because like the cast itself, I think is one of the film's like biggest successes.
100%.
Yeah.
Like the star of the show last night was the cast.
Yeah.
It's like top tier, all A-list actors up on stage. It's like pretty impressive.
Fantasia Barrino reprises the role that she played on Broadway as Celie. And, you know, originally when I was watching the movie, I felt like in the beginning she was kind of getting lost in the narrative.
I can see that.
But then as it progressed, I really feel like her character really came alive in like the second half, I would say.
Yeah, I wonder if that's due to how the character is written though, because in the beginning, the character is more like a little more repressed in many different ways. And then as she gains her strength through the film, you see that through her character. So I wonder how much of that is actually due to the writing of the character or her performance.
Right.
Do you feel like she was getting lost, outshined by other characters in the first half?
In the first half, I feel like she was getting outshined a little bit. And also the quality she plays, I think she's able to tap in to the feelings of the second half, of the strength as opposed to the shyness of kind of like the character in the first half.
She did say that in the Q&A. She said that, you know, that when she played it when she was younger, she related more to the earlier version. And now that she's older, she relates more to the powerful, like the transformed version of Celie.
Taraji B. Henson, she's really great in the film, really fun. She plays Shug. Absolutely perfect casting. The parts that I think she like needed to be like a peacock and like flaunt her like sexy feathers. And also the part where she's a mentor, I think it worked really well. Danielle Brooks, though, she reprises the Tony-nominated performance she did on Broadway, and she's, I think, the real scene stealer of the whole movie. She perfectly embodies the character as someone with like sheer strength. She takes no BS, and she has parts that will make you burst out laughing. She has other dramatic scenes, and I think she absolutely nails it. I think she's like the star of the show.
She's really perfect. I remember just when she came on and did her first scene, it was just like, wow, she's so perfect. Yeah. She's like the most perfect Sophia you could ever imagine. Like there is no more perfect Sophia than her.
Yeah.
Like the role was made for her.
That's why I also think it's so important that they cast like, you know, Broadway actors and singers as opposed to casting screen actors or people who usually do movies. But across the board, like all the performances are really good. Corey Hawkins, remember him from Straight Outta Compton? He played Harpo in this. I thought he was really great.
Yeah, he was really great as Harpo, I agree.
As we mentioned earlier, this was like the first time, we've never seen the Broadway show. So this was the first time I've heard some of the songs itself. And I felt like some of the songs were really like big showstoppers. And then some of them were like maybe a little bit more forgettable for me. I think the number Hell No from Sophia, that was like one of the best songs.
Yeah,
it
was
like,
really catchy.
That was a banger.
Yeah.
And then I'm Here, there's like Fantasia at the very end. She has a song that is kind of, I don't know, I guess you can compare it to like Emma Stone and her audition song, but it's better than that. Like you can compare it to like, you know, Jennifer Hudson's big song in Dreamgirls.
Or like Frozen or something, like, you know, when there's that very like internalized powerful song. Yeah.
Where it really showcases like just the singing.
Yeah.
And then there's actually like one smaller song that I really like too. It was apparently written by the director. It's like a really brief choreographed piece where they're like building Harpo's juke joint.
Yeah.
But I loved the choreography and I really highlighted Corey Hawkins in that part. So like there was a few dancing numbers, but I felt like most of the movie was really singing heavy. Like I'm not a musical expert by any means, but like whenever there was dancers on screen, it felt like it was really dazzling and eye-popping. However, sometimes like the choreography, like in that slower song, What About Love with Suge and Celie, I don't want to spoil anything, but there was sometimes the choreography like wasn't as maybe inspired.
I know what you mean, because I think now that you're saying that, when I think back to like West Side Story, for example, the thing that comes to mind is like those big, like epic choreographed scenes. It's a lot of dancing, a lot of like, you know, big groups. And in this movie, I think it showcases more the singing and like the powerhouse voices more than it does any dancing or choreography.
That's not to say there's not like a few.
Yeah,
there's a few songs where there's like a lot of great choreography.
But I think I'll remember way more like the powerhouse singing in this than I do in West Side Story. And in West Side Story, I'll always remember the choreography and the dance more than I do in this. I mean, there's so many moments where like I just wanted to like go to church. Like there's so many scenes where like you just want to like join in. Like I don't know, I was raised in church, so it's you know, you want to like get up and sing and dance with everyone. It's really fun. It's really joyous. It's a joyous movie.
Yeah, I should probably mention that the crowd was like going nuts for a lot of these scenes. Yeah, maybe we should talk about the direction. And this is from Blitz Bazawule making an impressive debut. I guess you can't call it a debut because he has made one other movie, a small indie film. What was it called?
Burial of Cujo?
The Burial of Cujo, yes. So pretty bold that they even gave him this project, making one.
Yeah, one indie project.
You would have never known that he's like not an incredibly experienced director.
No, it felt like very competently made. Everything, there was nothing off about, to me, about the filming or the directing of the movie. I mean, if I'd be nitpicky about it, I would say that there wasn't anything that was like extraordinary about it.
Right.
But it was very competently made, very well made.
Yeah. It's kind of like sometimes they'll hire a director who like gets the job done, and sometimes there's a director who like is really got a specific voice, you know, like Spike Lee has a very specific voice, very specific style.
I think it would be similar to like a lot of times when they bring in directors to direct some TV series, you know, and the TV series is kind of has it's great. It's just not, there's no like signature, no personalized signature on it. It's very competently made, like I said. It's
incredibly slick, it's polished, exceptionally acceptable.
But I don't know that it has that very specific signature on it. But at least we don't know yet. We'll find out, I guess, the more work we see.
Right. Like, we don't know, like, this could be his specialty, his musical, big musicals, and that's his signature. And then whenever we see big musicals, we'll know that's Blitz.
Exactly.
But for now, like, I don't know exactly what a Blitz movie is, because there's only this movie so far.
There's only one.
And it's also not to say the movie's not beautiful. Like, the film is shot, actually, really incredibly. It looks beautiful. In the wide shots, there are, like, you know, like, an outdoor scene where the sun's beaming through these moss trees. It's gorgeous. Like, and the interiors are lit really beautifully.
Yeah, it's very lush. It's very glitzy.
A critique of the original film in The Color Purple was Spielberg held back on the relationship between Celie and Suge, like specifically in the kind of sexual relationship between the two characters. He got criticism for not really exploring that fully that was on the page. Like he held back a bit. And I would honestly say like this movie doesn't exactly go
much further
than Spielberg did.
Maybe even less.
And not to compare, but like I felt like Spielberg just has such a knack for like what you consider the visual language of film. Like how he uses shots to like evoke an idea or like a character's mindset. He does it like a pro. Like there's not a lot of close-ups in this movie at all. It's all, you know, kind of like you're sitting in an audience watching a show. It's all a little bit in wide. There are some close-ups, but it's never really tight on anything. And I think that that's a reason why maybe it didn't get me to get emotional, because I can't see like very, you know, details. So if I can like use a scene from the original, for example, there's the scene where Sophia is played by Oprah and she has that confrontation. The way Spielberg uses close-ups and cuts, the hand sliding against the car, showing like the force of the slap, and then you have her, you know, her children that are innocent and confused. Sophia's eye, just her eye, showing exactly what Sophia is feeling in that moment, which is like pure rage. And then you have the close-up of like the cocking fist. And then you have a whip shot that's almost like a POV demonstrating this like utter confusion and intensity. I think there's just like an element of like that type of filmmaking that I think is like a little bit missing for Blitz. Like there's attention to all these details and the visual language of how he uses shots to express what a character's feeling.
I think I didn't even notice that, but now that you bring it up, it's like, oh, that's so true. And that could have been part of the reason why we felt like more of like observers, like we're watching a show on a stage. There's a little bit of that distance or that detachment versus when you're in a movie, you feel like you're in there, you're in the trenches with these, characters because you're so up close. You feel like it's more personal, we're more attached. We're following it through their eyes almost. It could be just some of the differences in the filmmaking, or maybe just because it's a musical.
I was surprised by how much of the film seemed to kind of recall, remember this from the film, or remember, and it does not ignore like Spielberg's version. It actually embraces it, embraces Alice Walker's novel, embraces it's kind of this mishmash of like, it's an homage to Spielberg's. It's a Broadway adaptation. It's weird how it worked.
It works, yeah.
Yeah. All in all, though, the performances were amazing across the board. It's wildly big. It's entertaining. The crafts, the cinematography, the costumes, the production design. So if I had to rate the film, I would rate it an 8 out of 10. Yvette, what are you going for?
I think an 8 out of 10, too. We usually don't agree, which is
Usually don't.
interesting.
No. But let's talk Oscars now. Do you want to talk Oscars?
I know nothing about the Oscars.
Okay, well, I'll talk Oscars and then she'll see if she agrees. I've never dropped The Color Purple out of Best Picture. Never did it. Never thought about doing it. It's based on a Pulitzer Prize winning novel. It's based on a Tony Award winning show. It's based on a movie that got 11, I think, Academy Awards. Like, there's no way that this movie could fail.
I will vouch that you've been saying this since very early, and you're like, am I crazy? It has to be nominated, right? Like, you've been saying that since like day one.
People knocking the trailer too. I'm like, the trailer looks fine to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't look that bad to me. At the top, Danielle Brooks, 100% is going to get in. I think she is clearly, like, right now the front runner to win.
Yeah, it's like a visceral reaction you get as soon as she comes on and she does her scene. It's like, oh my God, she's perfect. She's so perfect. So I think everyone's gonna feel like that.
Going down, I would say like sound, costume design. That's likely. And then I would say like Fantasia as actress. It's a very competitive category this year, actress. But I think it's such an actor-heavy movie. I think Fantasia makes it, and because she nails the scene that she needs to nail, I think she clinches it.
She nails that scene.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you watch the movie, I think you'll have a feeling that like, oh, I don't think Fantasia is gonna. I don't know if Fantasia.
Just wait for it.
Yeah, then you have to wait for it.
You have to wait for her Oscar scene.
And then you have like cinematography and production design. So I think like all said and done, I think you're like 8 is a very reasonable number that I think this could get nominated for. The original Color Purple actually got 11 nominations. There could be an open door to even get more than 8, I would say.
How many did it win?
It won 0. The original Color Purple won 0.
It was nominated 11, you said?
11.
Wow.
So it's nominated for 11, won 0. That's like famous to everyone. A lot of people here probably know that. This one I don't see going home empty-handed.
It just can't.
No. And I'll just say we went to the screening. The SAG strike is over, so this film couldn't come out at a more perfect time because the actors are going to be able to come out. And man, they all came out and they are all like ready. They're all campaigning hard for this. Yeah. You can tell.
They were practicing.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the strike.
The performances in the movie were like, wow. And the performances after the movie, it was amazing. Yeah. So like they're there to play and everyone was eating it up in the room. So like the actors are going to push this movie very far. Like we're talking SAG Ensemble potential win. There's like a feeling at the screening that like this movie was meeting a moment when a movie is fulfilling a need in Hollywood or a need in the pulp culture zeitgeist. You know what I'm saying? Like Black Panther fulfilled that need. People needed to see a black superhero and they did it. And I feel like Color Purple kind of has that feeling where it's fulfilling this desire that people want.
But also you're forgetting too the core of what the story's about.
Yeah.
It's about the domestic violence and like women uniting and like helping each other and being there for each other. So there's this other aspect to it.
Yeah.
That also adds to boosting it up more.
Right. So Color Purple is set to release, I believe, on Christmas. But until then, what are your thoughts on the Color Purple? What nominations do you think is likely for the Color Purple? What else?
For more reviews and Oscar-related content, hit the subscribe button below.
That's right.
And until next time, everyone, we'll see you at the Oscars. You know what I was going to say is that what if a coda comes.
I like the coda, like sounds like a shark.
It's
As long as if a coda comes.
Dude.